Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Ocean's Pit, little show about big things. Hope you guys are doing well today. Today is Friday, October 6th, and we're already into the month of October. A little chilly today, just the way I like it here in the fall. It's nice to be back, folks, after a couple of days off. Check the website, TonyOceanMusic.com, and give us a call at 847-769-8609 to book a show. Every show is dedicated to the first responders. Thank you for what you do for us. And also, this show is dedicated to people like you who spend the time on lunchtime and watch us, or if you get to watch us any other time during the day. You can see us live on the Tony Ocean Show Facebook page. We're on the Mocararo Facebook page, which is my personal page. We're on LinkedIn. We're on YouTube. We're on Ocean's Pit Facebook page. We're also on X, formerly Twitter. We got a great show lined up for you guys today. For all you Uber drivers out there, do you ever wonder what it's like to be an Uber driver? Or if you've ever took Uber or Lyft? Patrick Haig, one of our listeners, great guy, decided to want to come on. So this is cool because I like talking to people who have different jobs. And Uber is something that's almost very and very important in life. And probably 99% of people use Uber. So Patrick's going to give us some of his experiences. He'll be on in a couple more minutes. In the meantime, folks, again, I can't begin to thank you all for the calls and texts and emails and gifts and flowers and pizza and food and 2 boxes of crumble parlor box of cookies and from people sending in, of course, the loss of my mother-in-law, Laura's mom, Dee Bosch, Dolores Bosch, who died on Wednesday. After 8 weeks in hospice. And you guys are so sweet for people that have commented and called. And like I said, it is just very heartwarming. It's ironic. What's so weird about when someone passes away and, you get your calls and texts from people that you know and your friends in your circle. But the amount of texts and calls and private messages that I got that people that I hardly even know, who probably never even met Mama D, and some people completely caught me off guard that I would never thought would actually send something. So it's music is death and music have a lot in common in one way. And music brings us all together during difficult times. And when death could be, I know it's a horrible thing, but it can also be a good thing sometimes because it brings back people together sometimes when you might in the outs. But when that particular time comes and they show love and support, it's really humbling and it's overwhelming how people do that. Now, people have been asking about the services. Well, at first we were just going to have, Mama D always, whatever she did was always big, you know? And we were thinking about maybe doing a celebration of life because she didn't want one of those, oh my God, that kind of thing. But there were so many people that reached out and to do something. So we thought it was right. And we want to thank Michael from Michael's Funeral Parlor. It's going to happen Tuesday. Dolores Bosch, Mama D's wake will be this Tuesday, October 10th. It's going to be at the Michael's Funeral Parlor on Roselle Road in Schaumburg, Illinois, between the hours of 5 and 8. 5 and 8 this Tuesday for Mama D, Dolores Bosch's wake and services. So if you guys can make it, that's fantastic. We do appreciate it, and that's where it's going to be. One more time, it's going to be this Tuesday, October 10th, at Michael's Funeral Parlor in Roselle. I'm sorry, on Roselle Road in Schaumburg, Illinois, between the hours of 5 to 8. That will be the services. Okay, so thank you so much for that. We really do appreciate that, folks. And it's just still so humbling. And my whole family Thank you, Laura, from the bottom of the heart. I'm sure we'll try to probably get her on the show next Thursday. And she can thank you again as well. But and the fruit baskets and Jerry Jams, thank you, and Michelle with the pizza and everybody else that just overwhelming. Overwhelming. You're watching Ocean's Pit, little show about big things, folks. So let's get to our sponsors, folks. We got to thank our sponsors, the great people from Ace Hardware. Buy local, shop local, folks. Ace is the place. Don't wait till the first snowfall to service your snowblower. They offer small engine repair tune-ups at all their locations. Tune up a single-stage snowblower is $105 plus parts. Check out the unique selection of fall and Halloween decor. Ace is the place. They have everything for you. Remember, Ace has been helping neighbors before they were neighborhoods. That's our good friends Melissa, Raffaello, and Jackie. Also great seeing them at Taverna last Saturday, and Kathy too. Thank you all from the bottom of my heart. Our good friends Ace Hardware, Norwich, Des Plaines, Evergreen Park, and Warrenville. Ace Hardware, helping neighbors before they were neighborhoods. Thank you very much. I also want to thank our other sponsors, folks, who always make the show so to make it possible. And that's what's important. Trico Air Experts, Anthony and Carmela, thank you guys from Rosemont, Illinois, recreating great hair days. 773-999-7888. Let's not forget our good friends from Don Esteban Cigars. Hand-roll cigars delivered right to your home. Call Javier, 727-366-7536. I'm smoking a Romeo Joliet. Someone just gave me this one, so thank you for that. But he makes great cigars at an incredible price, which is very, very important these days. How about my wife's company, Laura Ocean Solutions? Increasing profits while reducing credit card fees. You'll never have to shop again if you shop with Laura Ocean Solutions. Roy McCampbell, attorney at law. If you're looking for a good lawyer, folks, my buddy Roy McCampbell gets the job done. A statewide law practice that is client-focused and results-driven. That's Roy McCampbell, attorney at law, 708-275-4264. And let's not forget my buddy Sal from Deutsch Power Center. Right there, baby. Deutsch, servicing the construction and diesel industry in Chicago for the last 100 years. That's Deutsch Power Center, 224-276-6550. Tell them Tony O sent you. Ocean's Pit, little show about big things, Monday through Friday, folks. And busy stuff coming up. Let's see who's watching today. Everybody, Sal. Thank you, my friend. I'm able to write it down. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Sal, for your present. And Jerry, lawn furniture. Yeah, they got a clearance sale over there to get you a good deal. Patrice, great seeing you last night at Zaza's in Lake Barrington. I want to thank Patrice for being there. I want to thank Sonny and cousin Tommy and Sal. And great job, Jeff Dubray, and great job, our friends from Zaza's last night. We're there the first Thursday of every month. Tonight we'll be at Chicago Prime Steakhouse, 8 o'clock with Jerry Jams. Tomorrow is October 7th. And you know what that means? It's the last day, folks, for you guys to join us. It's the big day. Tomorrow, 8 a.m., Hardcore Italians and the Italian Sports Hall of Fame bring you the Columbus Day Bocce Ball Tournament. It's going to be at the Casa Italiana in Stone Park. Car show, motorcycle show, food, booze, drinks, music, and we're playing bocce. That's right. I'm playing bocce with the Oceanettes. I haven't played bocce in about 2-3 years, along with Joey Spins, Armando Supermarkets, my buddy Danny Mazzi, and our ace in the hole, Jimmy Marchese from River Cafe. That's at 8 o'clock in the morning. Ron Onesti will be there. It'll be a lot of fun, folks. If you want to buy tickets, join us, eventbrite.com, and you can join us at the Columbus Day Bocce Ball Tournament. And this Monday will be Columbus Day Parade. I'm excited to do it again. For many, many years. For many years, I was with Ron Onesti on his floats, because Ron is the man who put it all together. Years later, I was with Gulo International. And now this will be my second year with our own float. And each float this year is going to be much different than the floats in the past. First of all, it's this Monday starting at 12 o'clock, which I think you'll be on Channel 9, all the TV stations will be covering it. It's going to start off on State and Wacker, and then it will end at Van Buren. And it's going to be, every float's going to be so cool because it's going to be a special float dedicated to a certain theme. And mine this year, of course, is Memories Are Made of This. And it's going to be our special float to Dean Martin, a tribute, which our show is coming up October 29th at the Des Plaines Theater, folks. Backed by Nick Sahajas and the big band. We got stories, we got films, we got songs, we got special guests. Oshows.com, Sunday, October 29th, 3 o'clock p.m. show at Des Plaines. Go to Oshows.com for tickets. But the band will be on the float. Jerry Jams, Tony Toto, Danny Monday, special tribute to Dean Martin. And I want to thank right now our three major sponsors for the Columbus Day float. I want to thank Danny from Armando Supermarkets, Buy Local, Shop Local, 925 Liberty Street in Elgin. Thank you, Danny and Robin. Looking forward to seeing you guys on the float. Plus, I'll see Danny tomorrow at the Bocce tournament. And I also want to thank again Mike and Gigi from Crash Champions Collision Auto Repair. For all your collision auto repair needs, go to crashchampions.com. And of course, I want to thank Sal from Deutsch Power Center, the three major sponsors. It's going to be a lot of fun. I hope you guys can tune in. After the parade, folks, we all go to the Casa Italiana in Stone Park, and they have a big spread of food and wine and just everybody getting together. And Ron usually says a speech. Herbie Games is coming, so Gerby, look forward to seeing you. Thank you very much for that, Jerry. Michael's Funeral, the address is 800 South Roselle Road in Schaumburg from 5 to 8. Thank you, Kathy. Dennis, Lake Geneva in the house. Corey, how you doing? Corey, the floats are going to be beautiful this year. It's going to be much different than the standard floats. Ron and Rich Onesti and the whole JCC Italian organization putting that together. It's going to be a lot of fun. That's right. If anybody, the balance was due October 1st if you're going on the cruise. And speaking of the cruise, 2024 Chicago Music Cruise, January 7th through January 14th, folks. It's about, 80 days away? Maybe 75 days away? 7-night Eastern Caribbean cruise, Royal Caribbean's Wonders of the Sea. Biggest ship on the water. It's 4 football fields long. It's a big baby. 5,000 people on this ship, folks. And I think between the Tony Ocean Band and Mojo's Jukebox, my other band, and the ringleaders themselves, Seventh Heaven, we got about 500 people in our group, a little over 500. There's still a couple rooms left, if I'm correct. I'm not sure, but I think there are. Go to Mary at ntdvacations.com. It's going to be fun. And if you book the cruise, a couple things you got to remember. Okay, passport. Second, make sure you book that hotel room if you're going to come so you can stay in the night before. Another thing, you got to book the shuttle from the hotel to the ship. Very, very important. Book that shuttle. And then the drink packages. The drink package is something you can't miss, folks. I mean, water is like $20 a bottle. So get the drink package. You're going to have a lot of fun. Remember, we're going to be in Florida. Coco Key, Bahamas is the private island owned by the Royal Caribbean Cruise Line. So when you buy the drink packages, your drinks are free on that island as well, which is very, very cool. St. Martin, St. Thomas. It's going to be a lot of fun, man, watching us all have a good time singing and dancing and drinking. It's going to be fun. So thank you, Mark, for that. Mo Dia, how you doing, Mo? Nice to see you. Welcome to Ocean's Pit. Double T, Tony Toto. Danny Mazzy in the house, my brother. And Robin, thank you again, Danny, from Armando's. And thank you for being a great friend. And Sal and Mike and Gigi, I just can't tell you how much I love you guys. Very much. Patrice, maybe we'll get Patrice on that boat. Come on, we need a honey bear on that float this Monday, Patrice. Hope you can make it, honey. Jerry Jams. Okay, Mary, how you doing, my dear friend? Mary, ntdvacations.com. Albert, what's up, my brother? Sandra, Kim Peterson, LaFew. Again, Bernie DeMayo, thank you, my publicist. Captain Rick, great seeing you last night. Danny Nozak in the house. Robert Provenzano. There you go. Deluxe beverage. So there you go. A deluxe beverage is $34 per person. So get the drink package. My buddy Chris Baccaro from Rosario's is watching. Make sure we're going to be there at the end of the month. We do the last Wednesday of every month there. Lefty will be there. Malarkey, Kathy, just want to thank you guys. So many things. Now, before we bring up our guest, Patrick Haig, Uber driver extraordinaire, is going to be good. A couple things. I also want to give my condolences to my good friend, Carlo Joseph, whose father has just passed away too. What a great guy. His father, old school, and Carlo's been a friend for many, many years. So my condolences and prayers go out to the Carlo Joseph family, of course. And Carlo, anything you need, we love you. Also, Thursday, I went to the wake of my good buddy Gary Sarlo at Rago's Funeral Parlor. He worked for a la carte entertainment for a long time. It was great seeing Mark Kaufman. It was great seeing Billy McFall. And I've given our last prayers to Gary, a great guy as well. So also Chicago Bear Dick Buckus has passed away. One of the major reasons why people were Bears fans because of Dick Buckus. And I think that's probably why your Chicago Bears won yesterday, 30-20 against the Washington Commanders, which is another worse team. And they beat them. So let's not jump on the wagon here. That's probably the only game they're going to win, folks. So let's just leave it at that. Just leave it at that, as we say. So important. All right. Got a lot of things to talk about. A couple of shows that we want to promote. Next Wednesday, October 11th, we'll be at Capri, Ostario Capri, in Downers Grove at the beautiful Hilton Hotel. Joey and Giovanna do an incredible job. We'll be there at 7 o'clock with Jerry Jams. Thursday, we're returning to my old hometown of Elmwood Park. We'll be at Donnie G's on October 12th. That's a 7 o'clock hit. And don't forget, folks, our Dean Martin show at the Des Plaines Theater, October 29th. And this show, again, is nominated for the best independent podcast show, media show at the Josie Awards. We'll be there on October 22nd and 23rd at the Grand Ole Opry in Nashville, Tennessee. This show was nominated again. We won last year. And also Ocean's Rat Pack will be nominated too. So I'm going to have a lot of fun there, folks. Going back to Nashville. So it's going to be good. All right. Without any further ado, to the Super Bowl, my ass, Jerry. Ain't going to happen. Anyway, so let's bring on my buddy who's been waiting patiently. Patrick Haig in the house. Patrick, what's up, buddy?
Not much, man. How you doing?
Good, buddy. Listen, first of all, thank you for watching the show, supporting Tony Ocean. I appreciate it, buddy, very much, and thank you for being on. Patrick, where are you from, buddy? Where were you born?
Moses Lake, Washington.
Washington. Very, very cool. Have you been there lately?
Not since I was a baby.
So you haven't went back. Okay, there you go. Yeah. You got family out there, Patrick?
No, my father was in the Air Force out there, so we obviously I was there. I was born there, so
sure.
And then we moved back to Chicago. That's where my parents are from. So, I got older brother, a twin sister, and a younger sister. So
very cool.
Yeah.
Big family. Haig, is that German? What is that nationality-wise?
I think it's German.
There you go. Very good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Patrick, thanks for doing this, buddy. What do you do? Are you an Uber driver full-time? What else do you do?
Well, I'm an Uber driver full-time. Also, I retired 34 years from the CTA. I was on the trains. My primary job was a switchman out of Kimball. And so jockey trains around, get the morning rush hour ready. My job was what they call a pre-departure, where I'll go through the entire rolling stock and troubleshoot. If I find a problem, then I'll call the shop. If they could fix it in the yard, they'll fix it. If not, we have to take it out of service. Load the shop, unload the shop. Pretty much, that was a full day.
Very cool. That's an interesting. That's another story. That's another show in itself. I have to admire that great poster behind you, Patrick. One of my favorite movies
I
of
had a
all
feeling
time.
you're gonna like it
Huge Kong fan, huge Kong and
too.
Godzilla fan. Kong, that's a classic, classic. And Patrick, did you ever see the Son of Kong? It wasn't that bad either. I mean, it was a little hokey, but I still loved it.
It was definitely entertaining. I was a kid when I saw it, and sure you got a little uh, shed a tear with no spoilers here, but yeah. So it was a tearjerker for a kid to watch. So
Patrick, what'd you think of the remake, the new one that came out? Not the one in the '70s was pretty bad too, but I'm talking
yeah,
about the new one that came out. You
with
like that?
Jack Black, I
Yeah,
actually liked it a lot because I really liked it a lot. It was long, but I think
yeah,
it needed to be. It needed to
yeah.
be long, and I enjoyed it. So
Me too. I mean, I like it. Campy or whatever they are, any of those old movies. I still love the Godzilla with the rubber suit, man. I like it
well,
better
he's
than
coming. They're coming out with two Godzilla movies soon. So keep
soon.
keep
And I'm hoping they make the Godzilla and the Godzilla versus Kong. Man, you got to love that. I mean, come on,
yeah,
that's
that
very
was
cool.
cool.
All right, Patrick, Uber drivers. Um, I take Uber a lot. I love Uber. How long have you been driving for Uber?
Well, on the books it's like 7 years, but I did it part time the first three, and then I took a break because I was some medical issues, and then COVID hit, and then now I'm retired from Chicago Transit, and I got to get out there and make a buck and keep busy.
Well, I think one thing about Uber you have to interest. It's kind of cool. First of all, you're doing something different every day. You're meeting different types of people. So I just came up with some questions. Is it easy to become an Uber driver?
Well, if you're a people person, and I am, I meet all walks of life, and most 98% of the time they're just great customers, and occasionally that 2% they could be a little over the top, and but you got it's a challenge to stay professional. It is a
Yeah,
challenge.
yeah, I can imagine some of the questions I'm going to be asking you. Yeah, throwing stuff, but can anybody become an Uber? What do you need to become an Uber driver? You apply. You need a certain. Isn't it true? You need a certain year of the car. Got to be reliable or something like
Right,
that.
you got to be a reliable car, and I actually trade mine in. I had a 2015 Toyota Camry, but it started burning oil, and I figure, well, I need a newer model. So, God forbid if you break down on a road, and that's just bad.
Yeah,
And I'm kind of a perfectionist when it comes to customer service. If I mess up, I mean, or the app messes up, I'll reimburse that customer. You're not going to pay for your trip. And
wow.
then Uber Help, I went through the app and they asked me if I was sure if I wanted to. Absolutely, because they didn't pay what they weren't getting what they paid for. So if I can't, I don't know where everything's at, but sometimes you go down Lower Wacker Drive and it's a mess sometimes. But
Oh yeah.
but to be professional, and that's just the right thing to do, is just reimburse them.
Well,
So
that's very cool. So you probably go over the top when you do that, which is very, very cool. What would you say your busiest times are, Patrick? Is it day, morning, nights?
early morning. I don't do nights because of the element of that, the issues with that. It could be
Yeah, well,
problematic.
that's what I was thinking. Some of the questions I was going to come on because I'm figuring. Look, I know people take Ubers. Two reasons, I believe. First of all, it's convenience. You don't want to drive somewhere. You don't have a car. Blah 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 blah. But this, I think, the number one is that people like to drink. Go
Sure.
out, they want a cocktail. They don't want to worry about Ubering. I mean, driving home. It's the most convenient thing, which I think is very cool. So it's busy. You say mornings mostly, so you don't work evenings at all.
The latest is 7 o'clock. That's it.
Okay,
I'll cut it
all
off
right,
there.
okay.
However, people have pre-scheduled appointments for the airports, and Uber requires us to be online 40 minutes prior. So as a courtesy to us that we're not just waiting, that they'll give us a ride in the area. And but sometimes you pick up some of the people who had a few, and like I said, it can be quite challenging.
Well, how many hours do you think you work a week at Uber?
Well, you said the whole week.
Yeah,
About
how
maybe
many hours do you put in a week, you would say?
maybe 20 hours or so.
Okay, now is that now if that works now when you're on an app. If you want to be off the app, you just sign off. How do they know you're still on or if you're not on? How does that all work?
Oh, you just sign off, and then they'll ask you if the area is real busy. Are you sure you want to go off? Sometimes you got a long road trip, the restroom. I gotta go. So,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
and then there's a little coffee icon. You can hit that also, and that you won't be expecting any or receiving any more rides. So you just hit that icon to be quick about it and get some coffee or got to use the restroom somewhere.
Patrick, when you first started, were you doing nights at all, and then you just switched to days when you first started doing it, or you never did nights past 7 o'clock?
I never did nights.
Okay.
Just in the afternoon because I got off at noon at the CTA and then I picked it up from there and then I set a financial goal for today.
Yeah.
And the thing is, if I don't make it, no big deal.
Sure.
I push myself. If I'm tired, it's just like anything else. I don't want to put my passenger at risk, so I'll just go home. I'll just go offline and start fresh the next morning.
And start the fresh
or
morning.
the next day.
What would you say are better tippers, men or women, that you can see when they're driving?
It varies. I think it's about equal. My car is spotless. Sometimes I clean it 3 or 4 times a day because you want to create a clean environment when they get in your vehicle, and that's makes them comfortable. You don't want a dirty car. And
No, right. And sometimes I see Uber drivers, they have candy, they have stuff back there, they have a game you can play, they have all this stuff lined. People make like an arcade out of this thing on some of these cars.
Yeah, I kind of got away from the mints and the candy and all that stuff because that could be used against you. Because they're only in their car top 10 minutes, 11 minutes. So
isn't it funny now that people can get you just on candy now? I mean, now they can give you a hard time because this candy might have been I choked on it or something.
Correct.
So they got you. Patrick Haig, Uber driver extraordinaire. Patrick, what would you say the biggest tip you ever got?
$20.
That's pretty good. Do you remember where you went?
I don't. It's downtown actually, from Bensenville to downtown. So that was a $20 tip. Yeah.
Patrick, what would you think the farthest you ever drove somebody?
Evanston, from Lombard to Evanston. Yeah.
You go out of state? If someone asked you to go to Wisconsin or Indiana, Minnesota, would you do it?
I do it.
Okay.
But you can't get a return trip from there because we're under Illinois.
Right.
If they let's say they ground the flights or whatever, and somebody needs to get to Madison, Wisconsin, well, we're going. So.
Absolutely. Patrick, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, and it probably doesn't happen during the day so much, but you never know with people in this world. Have you had any fights ever? 2 people are getting an Uber and someone else on each other?
Well, I take that back. Before they got in the car, they started arguing, and you could tell they had a few. I said, "Hey, you need to settle this issue right here, right now, and order another driver." So,
you don't want to get in the middle of that. Anybody ever vomit or puke or anything like that in your car? Or
I had an individual. Yeah, I had an individual who poured beer in my the floor, and the mats held the liquid. But I reported, and it's just like I just don't understand. So that's the frustrating part. But I got it professionally cleaned, and then I made up for the revenue lost the next day. So it was all good. So
It was good.
Yeah.
You think most of the people that sometimes get an Uber, you can tell when they're a little tipsy?
oh yeah, because I'm sober, so they seem to be a little a little out of line, so
What,
a little wobbly.
do you like the Do you like customers that are talkative, or do you like have conversation? Do you like
That's a
when they
great
just sit there and mind their own business?
That's a great question. I prefer. I had a gentleman that was too talkative, and then I'm trying to pay attention so I don't miss my turn off or. Yeah, and that happened one time, and he kept cutting me off, and I try to, and just, but like I said, yeah, I got to be professional. They hired you, so sometimes I don't mind being quiet, and people schedule that beforehand. Say comfort ride, they want it quiet or cold, and
Okay.
and I'll ask to ask what airline, what terminal. If I don't know, I usually, but and
So you
that's
mean to
it.
tell me that so when they make an appointment, I didn't know this. They can say, I want a cold car, I want
That's
a
right.
quiet, I want no radio, I want no nothing. I never
That's
knew
right.
that. Okay.
Yeah.
So
So
they
that's a
ask.
feature on there, and then they got a code for protection for the rider, and they'll give me a code, and then I'll punch that code in, and then we start the trip.
Patrick, if there's someone on the in your car and you see that there's something not right about this person, man or woman, is there ways that you can contact your boss or somebody, let them know, hey man, I got somebody in the car that might not, something's not going to go right
Right.
without them knowing? Is there something you can do, like a
Yeah.
warning or something?
There's a feature on the app where you can hit that, and then either send police or let them be aware of what's going on. And now they also have a feature you can record your audio, so that helps the driver, and also helps the passenger. Because I'm not saying that everyone's a honest driver out there, but they can, you know, we have the ability to record the conversation inside the car.
I got it. What would you say the root comment? Yeah.
You really suck at your job. So whatever, and that's the one who.
Well, that's not that rude. Yeah, I can see, yeah, you could take it offensive by it. I just thought maybe sometimes people get in there just like, just belligerent. Because I can tell you, I can
Nah.
imagine what taxi drivers used to go through back in the day. So I can just imagine, you know what I mean?
Well, I just treat the passenger. They're the boss, and they're in my car 11, 15 minutes tops, 20 minutes sometimes, maybe a little bit longer. And that's the moment in time that you spent with that person, and that's it. So keep that in mind, and just straight ahead.
All right.
Just keep your eye.
Here's
Yeah.
another question. Have you ever been hit on by a customer?
No.
A woman or a man, anybody ever tries, hey, you're sexy, let's go for a drink?
Nope.
No? Okay.
Which is that's good. So
Yeah, that's another question, right? Most famous person you ever drove? Anybody that you might have drove that might have been?
yeah, the lead actor that's in Chicago Chicago Fire. He was plays Jason, or the main
Okay.
character on there. Casey, I think, is his character's name. And not realizing that he's from Australia.
Okay.
And then we had a long trip from Lombard to downtown, and then he tells me who he is, and so that was pretty cool. He goes, people in the Midwest are the nicest people he's ever met in this country. So that was cool. That was a nice compliment.
That is cool.
From
That is cool.
yeah.
I mean, especially yeah, and I hear that from the Midwest. And you go to certain, I don't know city. I don't know typically about the city of Chicago, but I know like you go like to Indiana, Wisconsin, Minnesota. I always notice when you go, other people are so much friendlier. Maybe because it's a little bit more laid back. You ever notice that when you're in the
Yeah.
city, everybody's so hyper and they got this a lot of stress and going. It's like so I can understand that makes a lot of sense. Was he a good tipper?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Patrick Haig, Uber driver extraordinaire. One more question: you find anybody having sex or anything while they were driving?
No, no, that I wouldn't tolerate that.
Okay,
Get out.
there you go.
You know.
See, this is good stuff. This is good stuff to know because now it's telling you guys if Patrick is ever your driver, you know you're going to get a safe ride, a clean ride, a comfortable ride, a professional ride. He's going to take care of you. One of the biggest questions, Pat, that I get all the time, people ask me, you probably get this too. Is there a big difference between Lyft and Uber?
It's the same thing. Same thing.
Same thing.
Yeah, I was a customer for both of them, and it's the same concept, and it's the same. You get from point A to point B, and I think the drivers for Lyft were, classy people, and Uber classy, and that's it. So that's pretty much just two companies that do the same thing and competition with one another. But I have no problem. They're the same thing. So
Someone said that Lyft is a little bit more expensive. Is that true?
I can't answer that. I don't know. So
Okay, all right. And I guess beginning when Lyft was first around, I guess the background checks on some of the drivers that we were hearing that were driving with Lyft were a little bit more not as Uber does a lot more better research with their drivers than they did with Lyft. This is what I've heard from stories in the past, stuff that I read on, stuff like that. They do a better background check on
right.
driving for Uber than they would Lyft. You ever remember the movie Taxi Driver with Robert De Niro?
I heard things. Yeah.
Well, he's making a brand new one supposedly, and it's called Uber. I guess
Oh man.
Travis Strickler is going to be an Uber driver. So that should be interesting to see what that's going to be like. Bobby De Niro at the age much older than he is, playing that
Right.
same character. Would you see that? I would watch that movie.
Absolutely. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a De Niro fan. Don't care for his politics, but I'm definitely a De Niro fan. Patrick, you're in the car and someone starts talking politics now, and they start talking about the side that you're not with, that you don't agree on. How do you handle that when it's a 25-minute drive and they just keep yapping about whether it's Biden or Trump or Biden? How do you you turn the radio up? I mean, what do you do to put a little water on that fire?
Well, I'll let them speak. Obviously, they think what they have to say is important, and I kind of just keep it neutral. Just keep it neutral, and it's the same. I'm out there to provide a service, not about making the money all the time. And if they want to talk about it, well, I'll give my opinion, but but I just keep it neutral. That's the best way to handle it.
Yeah, keep it professional, which is very, very cool. Patrick, someone come up to you and says, "Hey, man, I want to do this for a living." You recommend it? You like people? You think it's a good job to do?
If you're a people person, I think it's a great way to make a few extra dollars to supplement your income. I recommend it. Absolutely.
Patrick, what can somebody make weekly? What can somebody make? It all depends on how long you drive, correct?
Correct. I mean, I got a friend's. He pulls in like $200 to $300 a day. So that's great, but he's also 30 years younger than me. He's in his 20s. I can't do that. So like I said, I set a financial goal for the day, and then if I don't make it, who cares?
You go back the
So
next day. Is there, Patrick? Is there amount of hours you're allowed to drive per person per shift, or can you drive as long as you want?
well, no, I think there's restrictions. I really don't know what those restrictions are because I know I don't overdrive.
Okay.
So, but yeah, there are restrictions because you got the fatigue factor, and that could be worse than drunk driving.
Yeah,
So, and there are times where I just don't feel like it. I just don't go out
I got
because
it.
I
Yeah. What
because I don't
about
want
like,
to.
yeah, Patrick? I'm sorry. Go ahead. What were you saying?
No, I just don't want to put the passenger at risk. So if
Very
I'm
cool.
tired or not in the mood or whatever, sometimes you got to push yourself a little. And then, but I don't know. The passenger is the boss. The passenger is number one.
Patrick, when someone you pick up somebody with luggage, is it the Uber guy actually lift the open the trunk and help them load the luggage, or is it up to the customer? Is that part of the Uber job taking or no?
Well, I always help with the luggage. That's a to me is a courtesy, and a woman or anybody for that matter, I'll help out. I got it. Okay, and then I make sure the trunk is not cluttered with a bunch of junk. It's all clean and clear, and it's your Uber vehicle is your tool for the job. So just keep it clean and keep it empty so you can fit that luggage in there. So
Last question there, Patrick. I know you're a busy guy, and I really do appreciate this that you're doing this. It's an interesting job, and you do meet a lot of people and stuff like that. Let me ask you now: with does tolls? How does the tolls work? Is that already added into the trip? If you're going,
that's in
already added up front.
that's added into the trip.
Okay, that's already average.
We get reimbursed, and you got to have your what do you call it, toll. I forgot the term what it's called. That account has to be lined up because it looks professional. And then before we used to throw the change in the basket, that looks kind of that looked kind of cheap. So,
Yeah,
but yeah, because you want the whole point is getting the passenger safely from point A to point B, and a nice even flow, no hiccups. Just take them wherever they need to go. So.
Patrick, real fast. Also, do you? Does most people do tip or not?
I would say it's kind of 50-50. And if they don't tip, that's okay too. That's entirely up to them. So I don't mind if they don't. I don't hold that against them at all. So it's
But
about
you, al-
50
but
50.
you also like if they give you a nice review at the end. They ask your driver the stars. That's it. I think that's very important. You know what? To the guy, give him 5 stars or 4 stars or 3 stars, whatever it is.
And then also, if they know who the chronic complainers are. So I had a complaint, and they even said that this person was always put negative reviews just to be a tool. So and then because they see my record and whatever everybody else is saying, or in the reviews or the tips or what have you, and well, that doesn't sound like Pat Haig or whatever, and then they take it with a grain of salt. But if it's serious, they'll call me and then ask questions and whatever. But like I said, a clean environment and safe, and they're the boss.
Well, you know what? You know what, Patrick? Very interesting talking to you, sir. And it seems like you take your job very, you're very important to doing that, and you're professional at what you're doing, and that's probably why you're successful at it. And you know what? And Robert Provenzano said, the more you do, the bigger the tip. You would think you try to do the best you can for the comfortable ride of the person. And he feels safe when you're behind the wheel and you're driving, and they're going to get to where they want to go safely, and they recommend you. Is it can someone actually ask for you or
That
no?
I don't think so.
Okay, all right,
I
okay.
don't think so.
Yeah. Do you ever say, "Here's my card. If you want to use me direct, here's my cell phone"?
No, I don't even do that. I don't even do that. I don't have a business card.
Okay.
So if somebody knows that I drive, or whatever, I'll take them to the airport,
Right.
and
Right.
that's
Right.
usually
Right.
but it's usually family or friends.
Yeah.
So, um, yeah. So I don't give out business cards. It's just not me. So.
I got it. Do drivers do that? Do you know? Hey, here's my card. Especially if you see the guy two or three different times, sometimes, or the woman two or three times. Do you?
I'm not aware of that, so
Okay.
I don't know. So
Well, Patrick Haig, anything else you want to add to the story? Anything you want to add today?
just passengers, just um, be aware of your surroundings, and if you feel that someone's not up to par, or you can always request to be dropped off, and then find another ride. So I would just say, safety is number one on both parts, and out to provide a service and be professional about it. So that's it.
Yeah, make sure that you always check the license plate. Make sure you're getting into the right car.
That's right.
And usually, I know a lot of the drivers sometimes will say Tony, or you ask the person's name before they get in the car, and they should probably know your name too when it comes up. So you guys kind of, you know what I mean. I
Right.
think that's a couple safe little steps that you can take that can make your trip a lot safer.
That's correct. That's correct, Tony. Yep.
Patrick Haig, Uber driver extraordinaire. Thank you, Patrick, for your time and for watching the show. I appreciate it, buddy. I want you to have a great weekend. I hope you make a lot of money this weekend, brother.
All right. Thanks for having me on, and thank you for just having me on. I appreciate it, Tony. Thanks.
You got it, Patrick. You have a great day. My good pal, Mr. Patrick Haig, folks, Uber extraordinaire. Make sure you check the license plate. Make sure you check the name of the driver. Make sure it's the right car. Be nice to these people, folks, because they're giving you a service that's very, very important when you're behind. And these guys are driving you. Men or women are driving you. You don't want them to go ballistic, too, because it can be dangerous for everybody. Take this to effect. It's a good thing. Uber is a good thing. Absolutely. Uh, uh, that was one thing I was going to ask Patrick about. I've seen a lot of electric cars with Uber. I noticed getting into Uber, and there's a lot of electric cars, which I don't know if there's a convenience or different, but I do see a lot of those. Ocean's Pit, little show about big things, folks. It is October 6th, Friday. Couple different stories. Let's talk about Zelle or Venmo. The question is, can you ever get your money back, a refund on Zelle or Venmo? We use Zelle and Venmo all the time. Sometimes how we pay my guys I work with, or sometimes we get money back that way. I always wonder. That's one of the questions that came up. A refund on Zelle or Venmo, does that really work? Does that happen? International Day for Older People today. Who comes up with this stuff? I don't know. 61 years ago, October 1st, 1962, here's Johnny. Ba-dum-bum-ba-dum. Johnny Carson's, folks, took the place of Jack Parr, and his very first guest was Groucho Marx. I have not watched late night. Now that late night talk is back again, all the crap that's out there. I don't care for any of these late guys. I don't care for their style. I don't care for anything. And I definitely don't care for their politics. But Johnny Carson was classy. He didn't get into politics. He kept everybody at ease. He was a great, and Letterman was pretty good too, but Carson was the guy. 61 years ago today, The Tonight Show, man. And there's never going to be another show like that again. Chicago White Sox. Your Cubs were eliminated, we know that, but the White Sox, folks, they hit their 101 losses. The fifth time in team history, the Chicago White Sox are in trouble. They need to rebuild that whole team. Maybe they can use the old strategy of the Chicago Bears, who's rebuilding since '86. Thank you, Michael. Thank Rose. There you go. You got some friends. Pat Rose says hello. There you go. Jerry says hello. There you go. You got some friends watching there, Patrick. BJ Murray in the house. Kathy, hope you're doing well. Thank you guys so much for that's another good question, Tony. Is Uber more expensive than taxis? I don't think. I think taxis might be a little bit more expensive, but I know they're competing against each other because you don't see too many taxis out there. At the airport, though, I think there's still a lot of taxis out there. You ever see these guys like, or talk shows, or not talk shows, but or sports shows, or when you can only see like the waist part of the person, man or woman who's speaking? I'm wondering how many times they just have a jacket and a shirt on and they're sitting in their underwear or their shorts underneath, because you never see the pants in some of these shows. It's right, because all they have to do, even when people work from home, you're supposed to have that casual or professional look. I'm just wondering, it makes you wonder. There you go. Jerry Jams answered, is Uber more expensive than a normal taxi? The Uber cheaper than a taxi. Uber is usually a little bit cheaper than taking a traditional taxi in most cases. Uber fares can be up to 40% cheaper than traditional taxi fares. In some cases, though, Uber fares can be almost double what they are for taxis when you factor extra costs. Okay, there you go. Mikey from Good Clean Fun in the house. My dad owned a checker cab when he lived in New York. Very, very cool, Michael. Hope you and Tracy are doing well. Good Clean Fun. Go check them out, folks. FBI. What is it with these FBI, CIA? You ever notice that FBI guys are wasting their time bothering Mike Levin from My Pillow? Because he wears a cross or because he's a Trumper? They're going after this guy. They've been for a while. But they don't go after anybody on Epstein's Island. You don't hear any of those people getting any problems. But let's go after the My Pillow guy. Isn't it crazy, folks? Just because you like a certain party and the politicians, the way things are going, that you can be targeted, you can be blacklisted because of a person that you follow in politics. I know things are going on, but I never think it gets to this extreme. Holy cow. Ocean's Pit, little show about big things, folks. Again, thank you so much for all the prayers for Mama D. Her service is going to be this Tuesday, October 10th, at Michael's Funeral Parlor on Roselle, 800 South Roselle Road in Schaumburg, between 5 and 8 p.m. Again, we can't believe, the humbleness that you guys, the gifts and stuff that got sent to the house is just overwhelming. It's still just me and Laura and the family are so humble and thankful. Birthday's in the house. I can't even pronounce this guy's last name. He's a great actor. Zach Galifianakis, whatever his name is. Anyway, he's 54 years old today. Randy Quaid turned 73. The old pop star Tiffany, 52 years old. One of the greatest comics of all time. Groucho Marx. One of my favorite idols. Him and Humphrey Bogart. Groucho Marx. Marilyn McCoo, 80 years old today. My good buddy Walt Herbert. Walt, wherever you are, buddy, Herbert, I hope I'll see you at Chicago Prime. Happy birthday, Walt. Tommy Boyce from Boyce and Hart songwriters. They also had their own great songs, What She's Doing Tonight. But you wrote a lot of the hits for the Monkees. You got it. Jim Kirsch, my good buddy Kirschlager, used to own all those great places in Lake Geneva. Kirsch, hope you're doing well, my brother. Lorraine Baracco, Dr. Melfi from The Sopranos. And Karen from Goodfellas, the great Lorraine Baracco, celebrating her birthday. A little place in Elmwood Park celebrating 7-year anniversary. Congratulations. Happy anniversary to Tiny Tap on North Avenue in Elmwood Park. 7 years. A former baseball league player from the great Minnesota Twins, Hall of Famer Rod Carew, celebrates a birthday today. Mike Gorman, great bass player from Chicago, used to be with Pez Band, off-Broadway. Now he's with The Outfit. Mike Gorman, happy birthday, my brother. And another restaurant establishment in the Chicagoland area, in the Arlington Heights area, our good friends, 44 years, happy anniversary to the Palm Court restaurant in Arlington Heights, 44 years. A happy early birthday to my buddy Greg Medea from Taverna on Division. His birthday is Sunday, but since the show's not on Sunday, happy birthday, Greg, from Taverna, everybody. Tonight we'll be at Chicago Prime Steakhouse with Jerry Jams. Tomorrow we'll be at Norton's in Highland Park. Cinderella removed one shoe and found love. And some of you ladies on Facebook, you pick pictures of yourself half naked and you're still single. I think the Facebook stuff is need to be a little bit more laid back a little bit. I see pictures sometimes. I can't believe TikTok and Instagram, some of the way these women are dressed and, looking for love. October is Italian Heritage Month. It's also Polish Heritage Month. It's also Mexican Heritage Month. And I'm going to tell you something about Italian American Heritage Month. You know who's the chairman speaker? Jill Biden, the first lady, is going to be the speaker for Italian Heritage Month. Jill Biden. Oh, excuse me, Dr. Jill Biden. You're probably as good as a doctor as Dr. Fauci or Dr. Bombay or Dr. Seuss. Really? I'm not going to take away her lady's credentials, but not Italian heritage. Could you come up with somebody else who's actually Italian? Unbelievable. Ugh. Kevin McCarthy, out. Speaker of the House, Representative Troy Daniels, if I pronounce it right, he will nominate former President Donald Trump as Speaker of the House. Imagine if that happened. Woo! Could it be all part of the plan? I don't know, but people would be freaking out on that. Groucho Marx just celebrated a birthday, folks. I love his quote. You got to love it. Getting older is no problem. You just need to live long enough. The great Groucho Marx. Love it. Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. How many people went out there? The Riviera Beach, that area, they got concessions and stuff like that. Generated in revenue this past summer, $700,000. And a lot of that revenue is from people from Illinois. Very, very. $700,000. The Riviera Beach revenated. Pretty cool for Lake Geneva. Very, very cool. National Black Dog Day for all you dogs that have black dogs. And National Green City Day, the Emerald City, Wizard of Oz. I don't know who comes up with this stuff. Walgreens. Remember Walgreens when they used to have the restaurants in there? Oh, we used to have breakfast at Walgreens when you were a kid. Oh, God, did I love that stuff. I just love the old school days. Oh, stuff that you don't see anymore. The old stores, Goldblatt's, Whirlwatts, Pennies. Just these old, they're all gone. Wags, there you go, Wags. Wow, Carol, I hope you're doing well. Wishing Frankie of Jimmy's Red Hots a strong recovery. Well, Jimmy from Red Hots, let's hope you get, our prayers are with you, buddy. And we all love Jimmy's Red Hots hot dogs. Very good place. You want to hear a great quote I'm going to leave you with? Remember now, we're going to be back here, folks, in the office on Wednesday. Monday, we'll be doing, I'll go live from the Columbus Day Parade just for a little bit because we'll have our own float this year on Monday. And then Tuesday, of course, we're getting ready for Mama D's services. So Ocean's Pit returns this Wednesday, 12 o'clock. I love this quote. I'm going to leave you with this last quote, folks. Risk could be dangerous, but routine could be deadly. Comfort has killed more dreams than daring ever did. Wasted talent. Risk. Leaving a relationship. Leaving a job. leaving something that you are comfortable with. Comfortable. But not taking that chance sometimes. Risk is very dangerous. It is. We've all been through it. We've all made changes and we took that shot. And hopefully most of us have made it. But some people might sit in that comfort zone and not take that shot. And it could be deadly. That comfort zone, there's no drive. You don't want to go out and do anything. You don't want to make better for yourself. It all depends on the individual. But risk can be dangerous, but routine can be deadly. Comfort has ruined more dreams than daring ever did. I have to say that's an incredible quote and a great way to end the show today, folks. We're going to be back on Wednesday. Again, I want to thank Patrick Haig, Uber extraordinaire, and hopefully you'll be lucky enough to get Patrick as a driver because the way we had a conversation with him, he's thinking about the safety, the quality, and he said the driver is the boss. Pretty cool. Pretty cool statement and very great interview. Patrick Haig. Folks, we want to thank our sponsors, of course, our good friends from Ace Hardware. Ace is the place. Buy local, shop local. Folks, take advantage of the auto key programming in all their stores. They program and cut car keys at up to 50% less than the dealership. Visit their helpful hub to speak to a certified team member and download the Ace Rewards app. Easy way to keep track of your points, coupons, and special offers. That's Ace Hardware is the place. Buy local, shop local, our friends from Ace Hardware. Guys, don't forget, memories are made of this. My tribute to Dean Martin is going to happen Sunday, October 29th at the Des Plaines Theater, backed by Nick Sahajas and the big band. Stories, songs, special guests, produced by Ron Onesti, oshows.com. That's a 3 o'clock show. It's going to be a lot of fun. And guys, I need to thank you all for watching. And again, my heart, my family, thanks you. Thank you guys all for the cards and all the great responses and everything we got. Overwhelming for the great Mama D. She'd be very, very proud and honored and humbled herself. That's looking down right now on our family. So Mama D, again, I thank you all. I bless you. Thank you. God bless. Buy local, shop local, go out and support local establishments. Go out and support live entertainment. It's very, very important. Happy Columbus Day, everybody. Have a great weekend. Have some fun. And if you have any beefs out there, try to squash them. Life is too damn short. Do it. God bless you all. In the great words of Ringo Starr, peace and love. And Mama D, I love you. Nick Sahajas, take us.
Time to go, it's the end of the show. See you later from Tony O.
Bye-bye, everybody.